A deleted scene from Loki Season 2 has been released, showing Loki talking to Mobius. It seems like this scene would have been in Episode 2 of Season 2, where Loki is calming Mobius and telling him about how many people have criticized him. He begins listing those names, and though the scene is brief, it reveals quite a lot. If you remember, this is the Loki who was picked up from the Avengers movie, so the names he mentions are all related to his past, not the future. The biggest name he mentions is Hercules, and then there's Borr. Now, why are Hercules and Borr so important or relevant? Let me explain. As you know, Loki is also called the god of stories. But how did he get this title? Loki essentially created his own origin. Although he is the son of Laufey and was raised by Odin, it was Loki's actions that shaped his fate. If you ask old Loki, the god of stories, he would tell you that he traveled through time and first turned Borr into ice and killed him, which Odin saw from afar. Odin could have saved him but didn't because he wanted to be king. However, this created guilt in Odin, which Loki later used to his advantage. Loki took the form of a ghostly figure and hunted Odin, tricking him into adopting a child whose father Odin hadn't killed. Soon after, Odin went to Jotunheim and killed Laufey, then adopted Loki. Loki's story could have gone any way, but he shaped his own origin in such a way that, in the future, he became powerful enough to be the god of stories. The fact that Loki mentions Borr, who told him he was a problem, indicates that Borr was alive when Odin adopted Loki, which is Borr could call Loki a problem. Moving on to Hercules, we got our first glimpse of him in Thor Love and Thunder during the post-credits scene, where Zeus tells his son to go mess with the people of Earth because gods are becoming a joke. In the comics, Hercules and Thor are good friends, but in the MCU, they might fight. One reason could be the event where Hercules attacked Thor, or maybe their past relationship wasn't perfect. Even though Thor idolized Zeus, Hercules might have been more of a rival. Now, as for the other names Loki mentions, most are common ones like the Warriors 3 and Laufey. He also mentions Borr, but there are two other names that haven't appeared in the MCU yet, Absorbing Man and Amora, the Enchantress. Amora hasn't been shown in the MCU yet, but Sylvie, a variant of Loki, seems to have some influence from her. This could suggest that Loki and Amora had a past relationship, and it's impacting the MCU now. As for Absorbing Man, his powers allow him to absorb anyone he touches. In the comics, Loki gave him a magical potion that granted him this power. But in the MCU, if we consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Absorbing Man got his powers from a Hydra experiment after the Avengers movie. So it doesn't make sense for Loki to meet Absorbing Man unless it happened in an off-screen mission. Another mistake we noticed is that Loki mentions Donald Blake, Thor's alternate identity on Earth, which was only referenced in the MCU but never shown. In Thor 1, it was just a name tag, and in Thor 3, Thor used his human form, but people recognized him as Thor. This raises the question, could this Loki be from a different timeline or an alternate version? It might also explain why the history he mentions with these characters doesn't align with what we've seen before. It's possible the scene was deleted because it didn't make sense in the larger storyline. Deleted scenes often get referenced in future projects, like in Thor 4, where a deleted scene shows Zeus happily handing over Thunderbolt to Thor, something that didn't happen in the movie. So will these deleted elements make sense later? Only future projects will tell. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.